Yo, what up?
你要见还是我
Yo, what up?
你要见还是我
It's Razor Pop lah.
How important is that objective? Question 1 reads...
Ethan Hawke had his breakthrough role 20 years ago in Dead Poets Society, in which he played a shy student who is coaxed out of his shell by an excellent teacher played by Robin Williams.
Mr. Keating, they made everybody sign it. You gotta believe me, it's true.
I do believe you, Tom. Leave, Mr. Keating.
But it wasn't his fault.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson. One more outburst from you or anyone else, and you're out of this school.
Now I'm gonna call my best.
Since then, he's appeared in a number of acclaimed films, such as Reality Bites and Before Sunrise.
Dring, 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 dring. Pick up. What? Pick up the phone.
Hello?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it for lunch today. I'm sorry.
I heard that Tim Leary said as he was dying that he was...
Although he's often said to favor challenging roles over commercial ones, he's also found mainstream success in studio films such as Gattaca and Training Day, which earned him an Oscar nomination. Apart from films, he also performs regularly in theatrical productions, and his latest role in Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale has brought him to Singapore for the first time. The play, which also stars Simon Russell Beale and Rebecca Hall, will be playing at the Esplanade from tonight till the 31st of March. Singapore Repertory Theatre, which brought the production here, held a press conference for the cast.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I didn't look forward to it. I mean, it just seems interesting to do Shakespeare and Chekhov. I mean, as a student of theater, what else would I want to be doing? You know, working with one of the finest companies and one of the finest directors and taking two of the finest plays. You know, Shakespeare, probably the greatest mind ever in the history of the theater, and Chekhov on the tier right below him. You know, the two gods of the theater, really. And to take them and to get to meet all you people and to see how relevant it is and to be a part of it, I look forward to it. Especially if the green rooms are going to be as nice as Sinead says.
And how you progressed as a singer?
Well, I was really influenced by Britney Spears. And I'm trying to bring all that. No, I don't know. You'll have to see it, you know. I think that, you know, Sam Mendes had a great take on this play about using this company, and for whatever reason, I'm enjoying it tremendously, the musical element of it. I didn't think that I would, and it's a lot of fun. What do you mean? What can I tell you about them? I'd rather just do them for you. Yeah, well, you know, the lyrics are by William Shakespeare, and they're composed. You know, they're kind of an early American folk root mixed with a little Elizabethan twinge, and it's something that it's pretty simple, straightforward, and
They're very beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of fun to do, and you can see. The character makes no sense at all when you read it. I never understand. It has nothing to do with the plot. You don't know exactly what Shakespeare's doing by including him in the story at all. And something about it is it's some kind of symbolic meaning to it. But the music has to work, I think, for the show to work. It's funny, I have a friend of mine who's playing the part somewhere else in the States, and they cut all the songs. And I thought, well, they've really... The songs have something to do with the spirit of what he's represented, what his job in the play is to do. You know, the truth is that I have very limited experience with Shakespeare, comedy, and music, which are three prime, you know, the elements of performing this part. So they're all incredibly challenging to me. You know, Autolycus plays music in the show. It's primarily a comedic role, and I don't know. It's just incredibly fun. I don't think in terms of how much of the character is me or not me or something like that. My brain doesn't work like that. You always try to match yourself to the character and try not to bring the character down to you, but try to find how much of it you can pour into yourself. I mean, how much of yourself you can pour into the part. Yes, I have. Many times. Many times I've been a part of those productions. What's that? I'm not referring to anything specifically. No, this is... I feel like, I don't know if this reference to last... You guys know, you've heard of the New York Yankees, right? Well, I live in New York, and New York always gets criticized because everybody on the team is great, New York. And that's kind of how I feel about this production. Everybody in our team we're kind of an all-star team. Everybody is among the finest. It's so fun to be in a rehearsal room with people who know so much about what they're doing. Sam and Sinead and Simon and Richard Eason and Paul Jessup. Everybody down the line loves this work, and they're really good at it, from the design team to everybody. And it's thrilling to be inside a production. It's very, very difficult to do Shakespeare well. And when it's done well, you see that it's actually easy and fun and joyous. And to have my friends in New York come to a Shakespeare show and love it, they all think they're coming because it's going to be school, or they're going to get smarter or something, as if they're listening to Beethoven. And they walk out and they feel like it was a rock show. And that makes me really, really happy. And that's just because it's being done very well. It's fun to be a part of that.
So I was wondering, do you see yourself coming to Asia more often? And I don't know if this is the first time for... I can see the mic being cast. How do you as the cast feel about this? What do you...
It is the first time for me being in Asia. I don't know. It's not for you, I know. But it's very exciting, and it's interesting to bring Shakespeare to somewhere where maybe you don't get so much of that kind of productions of things, and it's exciting to see what the reaction's going to be like and how you respond to it. I'd like to come back. I think it's important to travel theatre around the world, theatre productions. It's great. It's a great opportunity, and it's a great way to explore different cultures and bring some of ours.
It's very nice being able to work in a country that you're visiting. Normally you would come as a tourist, which is a very different experience, so it's great to be surrounded by a crew that's Asian, and the whole dynamic is different. But I also find it completely fascinating, the difference in the audiences around the world and how they affect us, because audiences do very crucially affect our performances. So I've never been in front of an Asian audience before, so that's going to be very exciting. It's very interesting. I mean, I find that one of the most fascinating things about acting. But it's not that we change the performances exactly, but what is given back to us from the house, from you all out there, actually does affect us. And I'm not sure whether it sort of excites us or inspires us or depresses us, or and so you fight harder or you pull back a bit. I mean, it's a very interesting balance, and it's always changing from night to night. But from country to country, it's absolutely fascinating. I mean, Simon must know this of old, and I do too, touring different countries, and you get a completely different reaction from the audiences, dependent on the culture and the politics of the country. I find that absolutely amazing.
No, I think there were less than we thought, actually. Yeah. I think we came into it thinking this is going to be interesting to discover how the other side works. But in fact, actually, if you have these plays determine how you work. So we responded, I think, all rather similarly, actually.
I mean, it's interesting that... Sorry. No, we've been working on 2 plays. We're doing one here. We're doing the Shakespeare here. And the Shakespeare, in a way, I think the only real difference in how we worked is that, to a large extent, the American cast is less familiar with working with Shakespeare. We're just less educated on it. But it plays really nicely into the whole conceit of the Bridge project. It allowed Sam Mendes to actually kind of break up the countries, the 2 halves. It gave it some kind of structure. And but I agree with you that the plays determine how they work on you. You work on Shakespeare one way, you work on Chekhov another way, you work on Tennessee Williams one way, you'd work on Beckett a different way.